Welcome back to another episode of Across the Conference, presented by Allstate. So great to have you with us this evening, along with Sydney Staples. I am Ari Temkin, and over the next 30 minutes, we're going to be talking about swimming and diving and recapping the swimming and diving championships. We're going to get caught up on everything going on with softball and baseball, and a hearty congratulations to a national champion in the Big 12. That's all to come. But Sid, swimming and diving championships for the Big 12 in Greensboro, North Carolina, and it was spectacular. And I got to say, this league is more than just Ilya Karun at Arizona State.
And you know what? Head coach Herbie Bem really commended his athletes for that. He said at the tournament, yes, he's getting a lot of attention. And of course, listen, he's one of the best swimmers, if not the best, in the Big 12 right now. But he was talking about the depth to his squad. And while they have those big names that are garnering attention, he's like, the way that the Sun Devils and that his group can back all of that up, how hard they work in the pool, how tough they train, it's all coming to fruition. And especially when you're seeing a state like Arizona in general, but more importantly, the Arizona State Sun Devils sweeping the Big 12 championships, both their men's and women's swim and dive teams.
I mean, one thing we say all the time is how you do anything is how you do everything, and it's just holding a high standard in everything, in the water, in the classroom, how we sleep, how we eat. And if you do that all the time, like coming to a meet where there's a lot of pressure like this is, fairly routine.
It was so impressive, Ari. And then let's, close it out with another Arizona squad, the Wildcats, finishing runner-up in both of those team races.
I mean, how much does that, it's great to finish second, but how much does that suck? It's your rival.
Yep.
To finish second to them twice.
And then really, it's not even close.
Yeah.
We're talking hundreds of points separates the two of them.
But it's not a surprise. I mean, Arizona State is a legitimate national championship contender.
Yes.
This is a program that's won national championships that expects to be there. So this shouldn't be a surprise.
No.
We knew all year that it was going to be Arizona State at the top of the podium. It's just how close is everybody else?
Let's talk about the fact that Arizona State set an NCAA record in this meet, all right? This is how they closed out the meet, was by setting this. In the men's 400-yard freestyle relay, and what I think is important to note here is they are clear of second place by 6 full seconds and then cleared third place by 10 seconds. And in the pool, this is an eternity that we're talking about.
Insane.
Not just scrolling and watching a TikTok for that long before you get bored. This is lengths worth in between them. The final event, capping off the meet.
In fact, after they won, they grabbed the phone and were watching a TikTok, and then they finished.
I mean, something like that. Houston placed third in the women's team race. Utah rounded out the men's podium. And I think that there is a lot to learn of Big 12 conference schools when they're competing against the likes of an Arizona State. Why? You're seeing excellence right in front of you. You are seeing NCAA records being set right in front of you in the pool. If that's not inspiration, fire to fuel because, well, you aren't even getting close to touching them. I don't know what is.
I think it's just that thing, like we always talk about how the process is more important than the outcome, and like if you're always looking for how to improve yourself, it's pretty easy. Like nobody's ever had probably in their life a perfect race, and we probably never will. So if you can just kind of have that be the expectation of trying to nail everything, evaluate, raise the bar, and just go through that loop all the time, you'll just keep improving.
I can barely tread water. Truly, the depth of water scares me. And then you have people like this that bring it on. The colder the pool, the better. The faster I will swim. And really to rile things back in, of course, another name to compliment. Ilya Karun is going to be Revi Fabiani. He set a Big 12 conference record, winning the men's 100 freestyle in 40:67.
Okay, so those were 3 Big 12 records all time. Yeah, it feels like Big 12 swimming took a huge step forward by adding Arizona State. Because, I mean, look, and Texas has been in the Big 12. That's a proud swimming and diving program. But Arizona State's reshuffling the deck in terms of even Texas's records that they set in this conference. It says a lot. I mean, Eddie Reese won lots of national championships. He retires. They get Arizona State's coach. Arizona State's assistant moves up. And, and now Arizona State is setting some of those records that Eddie Reese in Texas set years and years ago. Pretty impressive.
The Sun Devils are the new standard. That is the level that you need to compete at in order for you to be successful. I love the precedents that they're setting. It's incredible.
For the total standings overall, Arizona State swept the men's and women's. Arizona took second in both men's and women's, as we discussed. Houston was third on the women's side. Cincinnati finished fourth. Kansas finished fifth. That's the top five. On the men's side, mentioned Arizona 2, Utah 3, TCU 4, BYU 5. So there's your top five finishers on both the men's and women's side. So great stuff in the pool in Greensboro, North Carolina, and we'll see if Arizona State can carry it over and win a national championship this year.
No kidding. How about on the track? Can we talk about the Red Raiders?
What Wes Kitley is doing at Texas Tech is incredible. Mm-hmm. Wes Kitley, both the indoor and outdoor track and field coach, just won his fourth national championship in a row for Texas Tech indoor track and field. It's probably a less heralded sport relative to indoor and outdoor track and field, but Wes Kitley is incredible. And we look at Texas Tech, the investments they've made in softball and football, just across the board, how good their athletic departments have been. Wes Kitley's been there forever. Wes Kitley has been one of the dominant forces in track and field, men's and women's, for a long time. He is an impressive coach.
How good does it feel to become the second program in the Big 12 to win 4 consecutive titles? Nebraska did it back in the early 2000s. So this is now 20-something years in the making that somebody is going to match that record. And you do it at home, in the comfort of Lubbock. That couldn't be better. That couldn't feel better if you're Texas Tech.
Nothing sweeter than that. Of course, Wes Kitley's son, Zach Kitley, was at one point the Texas Tech offensive coordinator, and then he left to become the youngest head coach in America for Florida Atlantic. So, yeah.
What about the women's side of things? Women's were also doing incredible. They defended their Big 12 title, which is awesome, tallying over 114 points in 19 different events. Ari, here's what I think is interesting, is because, we're keeping up with these live scores and things that are coming out over the weekend so that we can talk to you guys all about it when we come here midweek. But Kansas State, both of their programs were leading in this tournament at the end of the opening day. And heading into this weekend, the Big 12 had 7 programs combined in the national rankings. So it was almost this tease. You look at the quality that's entering the Big 12 tournament in general, but then you're actually going to get to the fact that at the end of the opening day, Texas Tech, sure. But K-State, you're the one leading it, and then voila, Red Raider said, oh, hold on, you kept our seat warm. Thank you for tucking us in, getting our house ready, because we're winning at home.
Yeah, exactly. And, the Big 12 is good overall, but nobody's at the level of Texas Tech. Nope. It's impressive. Congratulations to Texas Tech winning national championships on both the men's and women's side in indoor track and field. All right, still to come. Baseball, softball will get you caught up on everything going on around the diamond, plus under the radar. That's next. With Sid, I'm Ari, Sydney Staples, Ari Temkin. This is Across the Conference, presented by Allstate on Big 12 Studios. Welcome back, Across the Conference, presented by Allstate, along with Sydney Staples. I am Ari Temkin, so kind of you have joined us. Let's go around the diamond, Sid. Yeah. We've got Big 12 baseball conference play on the way. Big 12 softball conference play has started. What do you have for us on the softball side of things?
It's the fact that conference play is on the way, as you said. We're kind of closing out the fact that you have that preseason test. You start flying around anywhere. I'd say a lot of these Big 12 teams have got some good weather that they might stay home for, but we've had those tests. So we've gotten an idea of what lineups are looking like. Now we're getting into the big boy stuff, right? And to open up conference play, we're looking at BYU and Arizona with an opening game on this coming past weekend. Their series, incredible. We have Texas Tech, Houston, Oklahoma State opened up the weekend with UCF, Iowa State and Baylor, Utah and Arizona State. Really exciting matchups. One that I really want to keep my eyes out for is Houston and Texas Tech.
Yes.
Reason being, and I'm not going to give it away quite yet, okay? You got to watch the next few minutes for this, but my under the radar is a pitcher for Houston. So I want to see how she's going to perform against the Red Raiders. Clearly a favorite.
Well, look, Texas Tech is the standard right now in the Big 12 and the team that's expected to be not just Big 12 champs, but get far and maybe even win a national championship. But I think Houston in the early going has looked really impressive. UCF. So, having that gauge in this conference, Oklahoma State's been consistently good. It's another gauge. It just gives us a sense of how good everybody else is, right? I mean, Is Texas Tech going to run away with this thing? Is Oklahoma State going to be close? Are there anybody else that can compete at that level? So I think we'll find out soon with Houston and Texas Tech if there are other contenders along with Tech.
not even to mention that, I was somebody that was thinking BYU as a program in general was going to be an under-the-radar program as we got into Big 12 conference play. So when you're picked preseason, kind of middle of the pack, how much were you able to learn in these past few weeks to set you up for a promising competition, and especially when you're going to be opening up the season against the Wildcats in the U of A?
All right, we'll get to under the radar in a moment.
Yeah.
I think you just teased that a little bit. You've got softball. I'm talking baseball. And, as we go around the diamond with the start of Big 12 conference play coming up, it's been a whirlwind start. Oklahoma State has been phenomenal. Colin Ritchie is just tearing the cover off the ball. And, it's a big reason why Oklahoma State has one of the best offenses in college baseball to start this season. West Virginia is not far behind. I think we're starting to see this conference is going to be led by Oklahoma State and West Virginia. But we don't want to lose sight of Baylor, Texas Tech, or TCU, right? Don't forget about the Texas teams because they always rake. They always hit well. Texas Tech has gotten off to a good start. TCU and Baylor, they'll be in the mix as well. So those are teams to keep an eye out for. And taking a look at the state of Arizona with both Arizona and Arizona State, Arizona State got up to a great start and then has stumbled a little bit. They lost 3 straight to SEC opponents, but I don't take too much away from that. I think it's a great gauge of where Arizona State is right now. And look, the SEC is arguably the best conference in America in baseball. So you get a good gauge of where you are when you go up against Mississippi State, Tennessee, and Texas A&M. Those are 3 great programs. But Arizona, I'm a little bit more concerned about.
When do you hit the panic button if you are the Arizona Wildcat program?
It's tough because you look at some of these teams they've lost to in this non-conference, and they're going to see better competition in the Big 12. I think in terms of the panic button, you're starting to think that way, but let's see how Big 12 play goes.
And I agree with you. I don't think I start yelling Mayday. I want to give one or two more weeks, a few series, seeing how you're going to contest when it comes to fellow Big 12 opponents. Then bring that big red button outside, okay? It might be time to hit it. Ari, you're under the radar. Talk to me on the baseball front. Who you got?
Gavin Kelly, the catcher, second baseman for West Virginia. He's tearing the cover off the ball. He's on a heater. He was the player of the week a couple of weeks ago when he hit .579. Just ridiculous batting average for Gavin Kelly of West Virginia, who, you figured maybe they'd take a step back once Randy Mazey stepped down, but no, it has been more of the same. It's a dominant program.
Okay. Me?
Yeah.
Softball side of things, okay? We're going to stick to the diamond. And just like I hinted at earlier, it's going to be Maddie Hartley of Houston. But if you guys want to know why, you're going to have to stay tuned for our interview with her coming up shortly.
Ooh, love it. Great tease.
Thank you.
Along with Sydney Staples, I am Ari Temkin. Houston's Maddie Hartley joins us next. This is Across the Conference, presented by Allstate on Big 12 Studios.
Hit in the air to center field, hit pretty well. Dibley's back, she jumps, and it's gone. A solo shot for Maddie Hartley, the Big 12 home run leader, into double digits, her 10th of the season.
Maddie Hartley extends that lead at the top of the Big 12.
Welcome back, everybody, to Across the Conference presented by Allstate. Alongside us today is Houston pitcher and infielder Maddie Hartley. We're going to get to know all things youth, Cougs, everything that we can, okay? And I want to start us off by asking you, Maddie, when you have a freshman season, when you're one of 2 on your team at the time to play all games, and then you come into a sophomore season, what do you learn? What do you learn from freshman year that goes, all right, I'm ready to take on year 2?
I think for my freshman year, I felt a lot of pressure, being a starting freshman right out of the gate. I think this year, my mentality definitely changed. My confidence has grown a lot, and just learning to play freely and, not being afraid to fail, because softball does not define me. Whether if I fail, I go 0 for 3. It's not going to define me, who I am as a person.
Why Houston? Why'd you decide to go to Houston?
To be honest, I love the food here, and the culture here is just amazing. My team is just amazing people. We're just like family here, and yeah.
Did you find, obviously you grew up in Georgetown, so not too far from Austin.
Right. Yes.
Were you recruited by all the schools in Texas?
No, actually, Houston probably was one of my schools that I only had like a couple, and Houston was one of them. I mean, I wanted to be close to home. That was the goal. So yeah, I just landed here.
What food are you liking? Where are you going to eat? What's your favorite fast food restaurant? You name it.
Fast food, I gotta go with Cane's. Cane's is my favorite, But I love barbecue. Pinkertons is really good here, if you ever been, but it's amazing. Yeah.
Have you done the Trill Burger? Have you gone to Bun B's yet?
Oh no, I don't even know what that is.
Or teach me something.
You gotta
spot.
teach me.
It's a good spot.
Maddie, okay, this past weekend, losing to Texas Tech. And I want to instead maybe focusing on that. What do you learn from a loss? What do you take from competing against one of the best teams in the country? And how can you apply that moving forward to the rest of the season?
I think they are a really great team. Like they're very competitive. I would just say like no matter who's in the circle, no matter who we're facing, we just have to be Houston. We always have a Houston versus everybody. No matter who we're playing, just being who we are as a team, being well bonded, I think we can, face anybody in the country if we just play for ourselves.
Do you know how many home runs you have this year already?
I think 11. I, yeah, something
Do you
like
know what
that.
your ERA is?
No, I do not.
You want to take a guess?
No, I'm scared.
No, I just curious because I figured you'd know how many home runs you hit. I thought it was maybe, maybe you'd know your ERA. I'm always curious of that stuff and how much you pay attention. Obviously, somebody that's so active in games, pitching and hitting, that you play such a crucial role that there's so many probably stats to keep track of.
Yeah. I mean, I choose not to look at that for some, just trying to stay composed, but yeah.
Does home run 1 feel different than home run 11?
To be honest, no. I don't think it does. I think it's just, you know, just doing my thing and not trying to hit home runs, just hitting the ball right back through the pitcher's knees.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
How much pride do you take in being, a dual threat player, pitching and hitting and fielding and basically being able to do anything in the field?
I think it's a lot, but I think just, just taking it one step at a time and using my tools when is needed, anything to help the team win.
Okay. I know that there's a saying that you can learn a lot about a team whenever you travel with them, right? Whether you're a
Right.
coach learning about your players, a player learning about their fellow teammates. All the times that you've been on the road so far, is there anything that's sticking out to you where you're like, wow, this could be a season defining moment that happened in the hotel or on the field?
I think, we always have team breakfasts, we always have team lunches, team dinners. And I think the thing for me is that we're all, gelled as a team. I don't think there's just like, we're all family. There's not just one person just sitting in the corner. We're all together, playing games, hanging out in hotel rooms. I think we just love each other's company.
That's awesome. And I know, you mentioned, wanting to stay close to home. Obviously, having a family at Houston with your softball team and then having your family at home, that's hugely important to you. And so tell us about what you like to do when you're at home and what are kinds of fun things you do with your family? What kind of fun activities do you like to do?
Um, My favorite activity is probably I like fishing. I love going fishing. It's kind of just clearing the mind. Um,
Got any good spots? Where do you like to go fishing? Do you ever go down to Port A?
I've never been to Port A, but I do want to go to Port A.
And
Go
what
to
about
Choke
Houston fishing?
Canyon, if you know where that is.
Yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
we go there a lot.
What do
So
you like
yeah,
to catch?
catfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're yummy to eat too.
You know, I literally have catfish in my fridge right now. Kid you
Oh,
guys
really?
not. Taking it out to Thaw last night.
Did you catch it or
So
did you
good.
buy it?
Heck no, I didn't catch it. Absolutely not. I bought that at HEB.
You got to be the first person that bought catfish.
Yeah, I know. Maddie, I'm not as cool as you. Okay. Okay.
Hey, it's okay.
If you were to go fishing anywhere in the world, where do you want to go fishing?
Hmm. I've always wanted to be deep sea fishing, but my mom's always seasick of everything, so it's gonna have to be like a trip with just me and my dad and my brother probably. So
That's awesome. Yeah, deep sea fishing is fun. I also love to fish. Sid, I don't know that I could picture you fishing.
Maybe fly fishing.
That's cool.
I don't have the patience for it. All right. Like that's where I really struggle. If I'm not catching anything on the line, I'm going to be like, all right, I'm done. I'm moving.
See, I'm usually a pretty impatient person too, but for some reason, I think Maddie said it best. Like it just calms you, it just relaxes you. There's something about being on the water.
Yeah.
It's relaxing and calming in a way that patience is good.
Ooh, Maddie. Okay, now I want to know this. Is there anything that you take from fishing and that you can apply to when you're on the diamond? Maybe?
That's a good question. Um, I think it's just being relaxed and being, just being in the moment, being with the water. And the same thing goes into the batter's box, just being in the moment, taking it pitch by pitch. I think just relaxing, taking my breaths, relaxing my heart rate, you know. So yeah, I think that's just it.
And then what about pitching? Is it almost the opposite, where there has to be an intensity and an authority to it that's maybe different from the patience and even keel that is hitting?
Yes, I think. I mean, I like with pitching, I'm just like I want to go right at the batter. Same thing with hitting, like I just want to, get my swing off. But I think that there's a little bit more intensity when pitching because, I really have to focus and like I can't miss a pitch or, good hitters, we're gonna take it yard. And like if I, miss a strike down the middle, I still got more pitches to go. So I think there's just more focus in pitching and more intent, but it also can go the same for hitting. But
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I love it. Okay, Maddie, final question for you here. I know that you talked about a little bit who you are as a pitcher, but what do you think the rest of the Big 12 has to fear in you, both at bat and up there pitching it? What do they expect the rest of the season?
I think they expect the same thing that I've been doing this whole time, just going at them and just taking it pitch by pitch. I mean, it's hard to say. You know, I guess I don't know. Just I don't know, to be honest.
Be ready. Be ready.
Just be ready, don't miss,
Yep.
that's all I gotta say. I don't know.
Awesome. All righty. Well, listen, the rest of Big 12 conference play is continuing to be underway with Maddie Hartley of Houston softball. For Ari Tumpkin and me, City Staples, this has been Across the Conference presented by Allstate.